across stuff. Jack Parsons, American rocket engineer, chemist, co-founder of JPL at California Institute of Technology. He's real close with Aleister Crowley, and also connected with L. Ron Hubbard. But basically, it was said that his wife left him for L. Ron Hubbard. But Jack Parsons in connection with just also personifying this alien thing, again, the subconscious magic of Hollywood to program everybody to feel like some aliens from outer space is coming, in some way, form, or fashion to throw things off. But I just felt the urge to check out an old book on my Dropbox. And I just happened to turn to a page. This is this book is it's called Outside the Lines of let's see, hold on. Yeah, Outside the Lines of Time, but let me make sure I'm on point with it. Yeah, so Outside the Circles of Time by Kenneth Grant. Now, Kenneth Grant was in the OTO as well, but he wasn't too popular because he was like, kind of like a Gerald Massey, like how Gerald Massey is to Egyptology, where Gerald Massey was keeping it real about, about Kemet and a lot of aspects of what they was trying to hide. Kenneth Grant kind of had that little vibe of exposing stuff, from the OTO perspective. You see L. Ron Hubbard being brought up, and also Parsons, talking about Jack Parsons, and also with the little Parsons opened the door and something flew in. He supposed it was Babylon. In Babylon, they talk about say Parsons' attempt at an intense apocalyptic magical ritual known as the Babylon working, in which the Ptolemaic goddess would be brought down to earth. But, seeing that little connection, and L. Ron Hubbard, promoting that vibe, in LA with the Church of Scientology. Matter of fact, no coincidence that Tom Cruise was in one of Stanley Kubrick's top movies, Eyes Wide Shut, and I did a video on that. Go check out my subconscious programming playlist or my politics playlist. My subconscious programming playlist, I bring up Eyes Wide Shut. It's all connected. Matter of fact, again, this is a fire book, because this book also has an extensive bibliography. Like, the end notes, he ain't just talking out the side of the neck, it could reference to the library, what I'm saying, or where this stuff coming from. And again, the more evidence, the more we become aware of this type of stuff. Again, they talk about different love projects and different, again, philosophers, for lack of a better word, who was just promoting this energy to, programming into people's head. Shout out to Brother Panic for bringing up Kenneth Grant. Just talking about the whole UFO phenomena. About to get more into it, but I'm just doing a video on it because Spirit just is that raw tapping in, because I just like, man, let me go check out this book, you know what I'm saying? And one thing led to another, and I'm also wearing Goshenite, Tanzanite, and basically it's like Elliot, or you could say what it's called, Anyway, it's like a chrysocolla stone, but the stone's dealing with truth. Yeah. And I end up coming across this without even trying. I'm about to read a little more. We're going to tap in with this. It's going to be part of one of my next videos. Seeing the relevance, though, because again, with any and all of this research is about finding solutions, which is a simple solution just right off the bat of just doing this type of research and, sharing it is like, exposing and saying, hey, this is not just conspiracy theory. You see these people, authors who are, honored for their work, you know what I'm saying? Praised for their work, you know what I'm saying? With, again, extensive bibliographies, backing the research, Kenneth Grant, working with the OTO, and it was shown that he was working with the OTO. I think Kenneth Grant also did the book Polaria, where he wrote it under a pen name or whatever, but matter of fact, did it in a pen name and dropped it in New Mexico so nobody would really know it was him. This all adds up. This book is definitely... Yeah, man, nobody making this up. Edward Bernays, nephew of Sigmund Freud. All the little connections. Everybody kin to each other. Obama kin to what's his name? Well, all of them, but he had made a little joke about being kin to was a little vice president to Bush, Dick Cheney. Yeah, famed for his works on propaganda and mass advertisement. Bernays pioneered methods and techniques for influencing and altering mass opinion. Bernays focused on crowd psychology and for a time worked for the U.S. government in originating the concept of public relations and the herd instinct. People, oh yeah, I knew that. Man, share that. You know what I'm saying? It's meant for us to be sharing this shit. We ain't taking this shit with us. I just brought up that because I know sometimes I've seen that, like I bring up something, to expose something that would help bring clarity to the fact that we not out here on some conspiracy theory shit. That be sound like some old agent shit. Like, oh yeah, I knew that. In the sense of like, oh, like everybody knows that and just keeps it to themselves. Each his own. Africansly. Yeah, y'all get the picture. Working with the Rockefellers. And again, Rockefellers. You got the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers or the Pharaohs, you know what I'm saying, holding the money down. In the when Robert Morningsky talking about the Terra papers, I just talked about that as well. It's all connected. Let's see if I got it in my notes right quick. Let's see. It's right here, right quick. Let's see. It's not these notes. There you go. Talking about the Shetu beings that was responsible for brainwashing the humans, sending them into the light, almost like Men in Black, in essence, to zap their mind and bring them back into the reincarnation process unknowingly. But, you had the Rakain, the children of, Cam also translate into shield. So, you had the red shield, Rothschild. You had the Rockefellers, or the Rockefellers, the Rockhams, the Rothschilds. And again, the Greys, the Shetu, shadow government, working with the Greys. And that's also connected with the little. I just did a post about that too recently. Where the picture at. Most of the Greys are shown to be pictured like this. And that's a picture of, Crowley say this being called Lamb that he communicated with. All interconnected. Breaking down ET in this one. Again, old Stanley. Filming my own movie like my name Stanley Kubrick. Again, man, it's, I just talking out the side of the neck. Actual, the end notes for the research. Sometimes we could use a little recap on the Robert Morning Sky Terra papers. Basically like a little lecture. It's about 3 hours. We basically explaining like the aspect of Earth's history in essence. Just getting a lot of clarity, because one of the things I've been dealing with lately is like, that feeling of like, bro, it's like Star Wars and tapping in with the intuition, and at the same time, like I was feeling like, bro, if I could, get just a little more insight from this storyline, then it would really help, with my intuition. You know what I'm saying? And this was pretty interesting too. Two things that stand out that I didn't catch the first time I watched this was we talk about Ra and how Ra basically is like Marduk returning. And one of the things was like Ra was like, again, is like the Yahweh from the Bible. And the jealous God from the Bible, like it's only me and nothing else before me and all this. But the problem with that was he couldn't fly that on everybody because of the memory of the beings, you know what I'm saying? They subconscious, So what he did, Ra called upon the Shetu. And this connects with the Chitauri people, talk about Credo Mutwa. Talking about the Chitauri people, these reptilian people who basically tricked the humanoids into going into a tunnel. But that story talks about how he brought them into the tunnel and they came out with like first they were androgynous, and then they came out as men and women, and they came out with different languages, and basically like all the little separate things to cause confusion in essence. But in this little story from Robert Morningsky, which again though you see how the storylines tie up, Ra called upon the Shetu people to erase memories, creating a center to bring humanoids. Basically, what they did was that, and again I wrote that Chitauri, but they took them into a long tunnel, a long black tunnel, into the reprogramming center where the lights were bright. And first thing I thought about too is like just big cities and stuff like that, and how you could be blinded by the big city lights. It's like it's layers in this realm, in this realm. So, or like how we could get again like brainwashed from watching too much unhealthy, let's just say not necessarily TV, but like the unhealthy light, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, going into the black tunnel where at the end of the tunnel, the lights were bright, and it mimicked, you know what I'm saying? Like that sounds familiar. That's like a lot of people talk about when they transition, which again, we understand to not go into the light and create our own light, you know what I'm saying? But after coming out, the humanoids were militant in their worship for Ra. So in this story, when they go through the tunnel, and go into the light, they come out like, oh, Ra's the only thing, you know what I'm saying? Like basically brainwashed, forgetting that there was a whole, millions of years of existence before Ra came about, you know what I'm saying? And again, let's say the long dark tunnel. Again, like that transition experience. And also he told them, like, hey, like make sure though that do whatever it takes, to get these, humanoids memory swipe. And he was like, even if you gotta promise them a reconnection with their family, food, sex, whatever it is that you could kind of lure them in with, and notice like in every breakdown, it's like going into the light is like seductive, like, oh, my family and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Again, and it's also connected with the birth of MK Ultra, and like with Men in Black having a little memory swiper thing, there's also a little connection with that too. But again, like they created this programming, where it's like paradise is in the light, come into the light, your family is here, this is here, basically that promise. So even when they transition, quote unquote, die, they program to go back into the light. So even when they come back into Earth, again, they program to reincarnate due to the programming of going back into the light. And then the what was called the Eosu, prophets of the truth that came before Ra. So these were so Ra, aka Marduk, is the son of Enki, or Ea, and Enki, or should I say Ea, same person, Enki, Ea is the same person, and Ra and Marduk is the same person. So Ra, the son of Enki, let's just say. Again, Enki was trying to free the humanoids, basically like Ra is in essence being like his uncle Enlil, and Enlil was trying to keep Earth like a plantation for the humanoids, like, hey, no sex, short-term memory, just anything to keep them, as slaves. And Ea / Enki taught them about, taught the humanoids about sex, and how to just live life, and also giving them free will to break away from the system. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about that, I'm like, all right, so anything bringing me into the system or into, that light in essence, is to brainwash me in essence. But again, like the prophets realized, like, all right, damn, we gonna be forced into this little memory loss tunnel. So what they did was they left messages, you know what I'm saying, like the hieroglyphs and stuff deep into like dark caves where, weather and stuff wouldn't be able to get to it in essence. But just bring it down. Then he also left clues on Mars and the moon, aka pyramids in the face on the Mars. And with some of this, I'm again just trusting my intuition with the info. But I've been like Spirit been led me to this video with Robert Morning Scott and been referenced it in a bunch of videos as well. But definitely, if you never watched this video, definitely worth checking out. I feel like you would gain a lot of clarity from, But he's talking about Ra. So the Chetu, again, the Chetu were little reptilian beings, not to go all the way back into this story, just sharing from, right here. As a matter of fact, I got older videos I'm going to have to find to reference to connect with this one. But the Chetu turned around and told Ra, or Marduk, hey, after all that we done, now we want this planet back, because again, the reptilian queens, the Chetu are basically like distant relatives of the reptilian queens. And the reptilian queens, again, was over this whole system. Now, because I'm right here with the tablet, I guess I might as well just, the reptilian queens again. Think about the dog star. As a matter of fact, speaking of Men in Black and Orion, the first Men in Black, was about getting Orion's belt. You know what I'm saying? But the reptilian queens are, again, the Orion Empire. They basically was in control, and Marduk, Enki, and Lil, all of them, this their family, the Sirius energy. And again, they connected to Jackal. There was dog beings, Anu, Anubis, and connected with again, Da'at, Dark, Anubis, Pluto, root chakra. And also, as above, so below, I'm like, Draco constellation could also be seen as like the Kundalini. But anyway, again, these are the reptilian queens, spoken of. So, fast forward. Oh, and just right quick, too, just to, again, fully, also, Aya, again, Enki. Not in Lil. And Lil was the one that turned the garden into a slave, Basically, in Lil was like, hey, rules of the garden or the plantation for humanoids, no sex in the garden. And that's why the Catholic religions would abstaining and being scared to, eat the fruit or tap into the tree of life, because again, one man's God is another man's devil. Ea or Enki was turned into what they call, the devil, for enlightening, he basically the serpent energy. Because matter of fact, again, like the DNA strand or the rising up the Kundalini, which also makes the number 8 connected with DNA and the snake energy, And that's where it could get confusing too, because it's like, the snake energy or the snake representation is connected to, Enki, one of the, in essence, saviors, or should I say, the helpers of the humanoid. He was a Genesis scientist, and even though connected to the snake, he was there to help. Unlike the reptilian queens or the reptilian empire, which he was working for. So, and again, that's why I'm retracting things to see, like, that's why it could seem so confusing. Because again, if we got the bloodline of Enki and Enlil, that could be confusing in the sense of like you're feeling like, oh man, this being is like my brother or sister, or at least it feels like it in some way. But then their philosophy is like, maybe, totally different from yours, you know what I'm saying? Because they may, be on the Enlil aspect of like, staying on the plantation. And it's deeper than just staying on the plantation, again, just for lack of a better word, because I'm just drawing connections right here, not going any further than where I'm at. But again, Again, Enki suggested to his sister to give free will to the humanoids, And then you get down to that little history. Marduk, the son of Ea. Now this surprised me too. Isis or Ishtar was the daughter of Enlil. So she was the daughter of, a matter of fact, it's like the Oshun energy or whatever, and it connects because she worked to seduce. I don't know if I got in this tablet, but she basically, when she was trying to take over, she went to seduce her uncle, Enki, to get these papers. Oh, shit, not this one. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Ishtar got Ea drunk, and I and seduced him, and I thought about Oshun, Freya, and then honey wine. But she stole the tablets of destiny from Ea, but then Enlil and her father Enlil and her aunt, again, father and aunt, for lack of a better word, Nina, basically chased her down and got the tablets back, and she escaped. But taking it back again, so the Shetu, and the Shetu was also, again, this is like the beginning of stonemasons, because the Shetu was also real great at basically like doing stone work. They could cut stones or whatever, pretty precise or whatever. And my son. And even seeing with that, again, like, just going deeper and why, like, some of these things feel like they connected, but then it feels like a little funny, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I feel connected with the Mason energy and essence, but it still feel a little weird or funny about it, you know what I'm saying? But again, and Ra, after he knew the Shetu people were going to turn around and, try to take over the planet again, Ra, looking for trustworthy allies, and he said, his administration of his kingdom and his money, he gave it to the priests called pharaohs. You know what I'm saying? They were over the administration of the kingdom. Then the money went to all of his children or offspring. So this is Ra's children. Raka was another name for Ra, and Raka M, like the M aspect. It's like the children of Ra, Ka. But then Kam, like again, Kam, Rakam, also translates into shield, think about it. Shield. And again, take what resonate, leave what don't, Robert Morningsky, like his energy as far as like referencing certain aspects, is real strong as far as the literature, because he even talk about how Zachariah Sitchin book ain't, telling the full story or the whole story as it should go, and Bobby Hemmett brought up that as well. But then again, see, Cam also translating to the shield, Rot shields. I thought about like the Swiss banks in Switzerland. That's also where they made acid at. So that's like a little cool little connection. In the essence of just, again, like a lot of stuff in the Swiss. That's where Carl Jung studied at, Aldous Huxley, all kind of stuff come out of the Switzerland area. But Raka pharaohs are Rockefellers, and we think about Rockefeller, the record label, and Jehovah, aka H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, Rockefeller Records, and then Rockcoms, the Rothschild family. I just wanted to share that little connection. I'm about to dive a little deeper and get more of what I meant to get from this, but Just wanted to share that with y'all right now. Spirit told me to share that. And kind of feeling on some vibes like all of this needs to be shared. You know, now is the vibe break. You know, back to them think fast type of vibes. But yeah, I ain't gotta think fast. But you know, y'all know what it is. Now the vibe break. And again, what's the solution is to gain clarity and understanding more what's going on in this plane of existence. You know, that's it. Because again, we're not trying to hold on to history and retell a story. But again, if I don't know the old story, then, you know, how will I know if I'm doing something different or if I'm falling in line with the same old storyline and repeating history, you know what I'm saying? So the solution with this is to gain insight and clarity, you know, along our journey. Peace, peace.